All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. You're like, whoa, what's up with Jensen? I will explain here shortly. Let me just try and get Facebook loaded up. So far, so good, Zach?
Yep,
All
looking
right,
good.
we're just waiting on Facebook here. Oh, I see the problem. Hold on one sec. Hang tight. My bad on this. All right, let me do that there. Sorry, guys, I missed a little box to check. My bad. Almost there. Bam. Okay, now let me try that again. All right, connecting Facebook. I'm going. Welcome in, everybody. It is the Mile High Huddle podcast. I'm Chad Jensen. That's Zack Kelberman. You know him, you love him. And as you can see, I am not in my office. I'm on the road with my family. My son's in a state basketball tournament, and it's going really good. And so here I am. But Zach, he's been explaining to me my connection isn't the greatest. It's hotel Wi-Fi, so we're chancing it. There is, if it ends up being laggy, Zach, you'll tell me. If it ends up whatever, I'll bounce out and just produce, and Zach will take it home for everybody. But real quick, dude, first and foremost, the Broncos, we have some actual news. They hired a wide receivers coach. Break it down, brother.
Yeah, this is a guy, and like we said, if Chad does start breaking up, guys, he'll be bouncing out. It'll be me solo for the second day in a row. But hopefully, so far so good. Hopefully, he does hold up because we want a normal show. But Ronald Curry is the name of the new wide receivers coach. It's expected to happen. It hasn't happened yet. It's not but it's expected to happen. The Broncos, if his name sounds familiar, they interviewed him for the offensive coordinator job that went to Davis Webb, but he started out he was with Sean Payton in Buffalo. He started out with San Francisco as an assistant. Then he was with Payton in New Orleans and held various roles. He was quarterbacks coach, passing game coordinator, receivers coach. Then he went to Buffalo in 2024. The same year, by the way, Josh Allen won NFL MVP. Obviously, he had the same job with them this past season, and now he's coaching the Broncos wide receivers. So that's the skinny.
Broncos fans of the late Shanahan era remember Ronald Curry, the Raiders wide receiver. It's the same guy.
Right.
And he made one of the most insane catches in Bronco opponent history once. And so very interesting guy, knows what he's doing, got experience, Zach, not only in the Sean Payton way of doing things and his philosophy and his culture, but working with some pretty accomplished quarterbacks, which to me is very, very encouraging. We'll talk more about it. But real quick, some hellos. Papa Bear checking in. Good to see you, pal. Hope you are doing well. Thank you so much for the super chat. Before we even go live, dude, you're the man. Saying good evening, Broncos country, a dear member. We love you. Papa Bear, we got some hellos to Chase here. And on my laptop, man, this looks so much different than at home. Said, I do like this hire. Pretty good resume. Indeed. We got M. Blex in the hizzy, man. How are you doing, big dog? Appreciate seeing you as well. A big earn in the house. Broncos country only. We know how it goes. We know. We're with you, big dog. And Quentin, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. But Zach, I like this hire a lot. I find it kind of interesting, and I wonder if it was on purpose. But both of Sean Payton's last two wide receiver coach hires, former players, not super high level former players, but former NFL wide receivers at the position they're coaching nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the fact that he's with the Raiders. I was looking up his stats, and every single reception, every single yard he made, every single touchdown he made in the NFL did come with the then Oakland Raiders. So Broncos fans could remember his name, and I'm with you. I do like the hire. It reminds me of when they interviewed Mike Munchak for head coach, and then ended up hiring him for offensive line coach. Whenever you aim high, but then have to settle low in this case, you're getting a quarterback's coach for a receiver's role job. That's a really good value hire, I think, for the Broncos. I do like this move.
I do as well. And now that we're thinking about it, what do we got left here? The Broncos, I mean, I guess they can choose whether or not they're going to bring in any kind of senior assistant like a Pete Carmichael, but that's more of like a let's just find a place for Pete on the staff kind of a move. And you got, I guess, Zach, pass game coordinator, right? They with Davis Webb moving up to offensive coordinator, it would be a surprise if they didn't choose to fill that. Sean Payton has had both an offensive coordinator, Zach, and a pass game coordinator and a run game coordinator in all three of the seasons he's been head coach. It was John Morton the first 2 years, and then it was Davis Webb last year. John Morton came back, did some playoff stuff in January, he's the guy that I still expect to end up filling that role. But I suppose it depends very much on whether or not he gets any bites elsewhere for bigger roles like offensive coordinator.
I do wonder, though, like I mentioned, in New Orleans, he had multiple titles, Curry did, under Sean Payton. One of those was passing game coordinator. So maybe, Chad, they'll have him for double duty here.
That's true. And guys, if you see me looking down, I'm using my phone to do any in-show searches because I don't want to bog down the connection here. But you're 100% right. In his last role with the Saints in 2022 and 2023, he was the quarterbacks coach and pass game coordinator, Ronald Curry. So that's a good point. When we hear about when the Broncos finally confirmed the hire, maybe you're right. It wouldn't be a complete shock.
Yeah, when the press release comes out, I mean, it's being reported about receivers, but maybe like that happens a lot. Like the final details we're not privy to, and one of those could be where he's the passing game coordinator as well. We'll see if that gets announced tomorrow.
We shall see. Appreciate the assist there, Quentin. He's saying hit the like button, everybody. We could always use the reminders. And Black saying I'm doing well, hanging out with my kid who is sick. Sorry about that, dude. I'm in like a hot box of sickness right now. I've got a sick kid and we're all stuck in a hotel room. So it's only a matter of time. Any parent knows how that goes. He also says sick knowing the Broncos should have won the Super Bowl. That is. Yeah, I don't know. Zach, earlier this week, and honestly, it had nothing to do with what ended up. I published this article. I think I wrote it, what's today, Thursday? So I think I wrote it Monday night. And I set it for publishing to publish first thing Tuesday morning. Woke up Tuesday and I'm seeing one YouTube video, one Twitter post after another, ranking suddenly the 2024 quarterback class, Zach, from the draft, which is what I did. And I'm telling you, I ranked Bo Nix number one. And of course, people who read the article go, oh, Jensen, Denver Broncos on SI, Mile High Huddle. He's an obvious homer. But I'm telling you guys, you go read that article and you tell me where I'm wrong. If your argument is anything, I mean, basically, Zach, the only argument people have that could try to even approach attacking the argument I lay out in this article is simply that, well, because I think he is, I think Drake May is better, or I think Caleb Williams is better. There's no stat. There's no accomplishment, Zach. There's no number of wins. There's no feat, nothing that is better than what Bo Nix has achieved. So if we're talking about wins, which is a quarterback stat, if we're talking about touchdowns, if we're talking about yards and the key stats, Bo Nix, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, through the first 2 years of that 2024 quarterback class, no one's even close to him, although Caleb Williams is the only other one that started every game in the regular season.
Yeah, well said. You could debate their ceilings individually at the NFL level, although it's always apples to oranges because they're in different systems, different teams, conferences, schedules. There's so many different factors that go into it. But I saw one ranking that had Jaden Daniels above Bo Nix, and he didn't even play this year. I mean, Bo Nix took him to the AFC title game. It's crazy that the slander and how well liked and how much media love Drake May gets. I understand he took his team to the Super Bowl, even though he kind of lucked out in that AFC title game. But my point is, MBLX, I'm right there with you. I'm not over it. It's February 19th. The game was like a month ago. It still kind of turns my stomach whenever I see a highlight of that game.
Oh, no doubt. Just knowing, Zach, that if Bo Nix, maybe we don't go all the way, the Broncos don't win the Super Bowl. Maybe they can't get past the Seahawks. But I'm telling you right now, Bo Nix plays that game in the AFC title game. The Broncos are at least going to the Super Bowl. But again, it's spilt milk. You can't get the toothpaste back in the tube. We got Ralph Bracegirdle in the hizzy. Great to see you, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Give a shout out to the Bracegirdle clan. He says Curry was a beast back in the day, was a dual sport athlete in college and ranked higher than Mike Vick and was drafted as a receiver. That's right. He was a quarterback, Zach, former quarterback, which makes sense why he's involved also in coaching quarterbacks.
It's February 19th, so we're going to break down a wide receiver coach hire, but I like the versatility that he can bring to the coaching staff. He can impart a little knowledge to Bo Nix and the quarterbacks, some to the wide receivers, and also to Sean Payton if he wants to help out with the passing game.
Yes, indeed. At North Carolina, Curry set many records, including most career passing yards and most career total yards. He was twice named most valuable player of postseason bowl games, et cetera, but he entered the draft as a receiver for whatever reason. And he was never elite as a receiver, but he certainly, Ralph, you remember this, he was a thorn in Denver's side for whatever it was, 6-7 years. Thank you, buddy. We got the Ronk checking in off the top rope.
Thank
Up
you,
with
Ron.
a little gas money with one of your football priests on the road, dude. Thank you, pal. Love you. You've been super, super generous always, Mike, but especially I would say Zach in February. He's been top roping it, and brother,
Oh yeah.
we appreciate you, big dog. He's saying, good evening, Chad and Zach on the Mile High Huddle podcast. Go Bo Broncos. Yes, sir. And then he checks in here with let me see. Oh, he's just saying hellos. Well, Ronk, brother, it's good to have you. You'll have to let us know how you're feeling about the new hire. Well, it's not official, as Zach mentioned at the top of the show, but all the reporting points toward Ronald Curry, new wide receivers coach. We're officially speculating on the Mile High Huddle podcast, though, Zach. Could he also be coming in as the pass game coordinator? I mean, after all, Davis Webb was the quarterback's coach and pass game coordinator last season, and Zach Strief is still the O-line coach and run game coordinator.
I also have to, and first of all, thank you so much, Ronk, for your generous contribution. You did the same on the MHH pod last night, the solo pod with me, and we appreciated every single day what you do on here, what you do on social media for us. You're the ambassador of MHH, and we appreciate that so much. So thank you, Ronk.
Love you, big dog. How's the connection so far, Zach? Hanging in there?
You're actually holding up well.
So far, so good. A lot better than it was looking when we were talking right before we went live. And I hope I didn't jinx it by bringing it up. But anyway, Ronk, love you, big dog. Mount Rushmore, you're a legend. Thank you, pal. It really goes a long way this time of year for us. Trust. Good to see Smouse in the house. We got Greg in the house as well, who's giving props to Ronk. Appreciate you, buddy. Did it click there? Where'd it go? There's Smouse. There's Greg. There we go. Awesome. And we're kind of rocking the chat by ourselves tonight. Not only am I on the road in a weird situation, but Scott is tied up this evening. So we're rolling with the punches, and we appreciate you guys doing the same with us. But Zach, if you were to straw man my argument that Bo Nix of the 2024, there's some other news we're going to get to tonight, by the way, guys. Not so much news, but I guess news. It's technically news. Nevertheless, if you were to straw man my argument that Bo Nix should be ranked first among the 2024 quarterbacks, and I can go through the stats. I'll pull it up on my phone. It's not even close in terms of wins, stats, etc. If you were to pick nits in that argument, and you were going to say you're from the greater Boston area, or you're from Chicago, what would the argument be?
The only ones that I can possibly bring to the table, Chad, are the same ones that are brought to my mentions on social media, the ones that the trolls say. So I'll try to emulate them. Number one, Bo Nix has the best offensive line in the NFL, which number one, I mean, even if they are in your metrics or rankings, I think Bo Nix made them look a lot better than they did. Bo Nix has Sean Payton, one of the best offensive minds, Super Bowl winning coach, even though Ben Johnson's a great offensive mind as well. I really, Chad, though, I mean, it's not even my homer talking or my bias talking. When you take away stats and wins and losses and accomplishments, I really can't straw man it. I can only steel man.
I'm telling you guys, when this is viewed, this class, 10 years in, I mean, maybe not even 10 years, but like look at 2018, for example. That was the last most recent best quarterback class, right? Because you had Baker Mayfield, you had Darnold, you had Lamar, you had Allen, all in that draft class. Of course, everyone talks about the 1983 class, Elway, Marino, Kelly, etc. But 2 years, 3 years, Zach, well, let's just say 2 years. So after the 2019 season, nobody was talking about Sam Darnold being a thing. And here we are a few more short years later, and he's viewed as kind of one of the crowning achievements anyway of that 2018 class. Lamar's up there, Josh Allen's up there in terms of steadier, bigger body of work. Allen's kind of Darnold's a little bit more of a late bloomer. But my point here is this same 2024 class, Zach, when time passes and you can look back through the fullness of time, whether it's 5 years from now, people are going to look back and it's going to be very obvious that Bo Nix was the guy from this class. And I'll pull it up here in a second and drop some stats on you guys that might surprise you. But I'm telling you, just through 2 years, it's pretty clear. And that argument, Zach, about He's got Sean Payton. Okay, like you said, Ben Johnson, anybody, and even the rookie year for Jaden Daniels, he had a great coordinator that has had success with young quarterbacks in the NFL in the past. So it's not as if Bo Nix is, and not to mention Drake May getting Josh McDaniels in his second year. Are we going to take points away from May because the very accomplished, might suck at being a head coach, Zach, but very accomplished offensive coordinator and Josh McDaniels was the one coaching him? I mean, let's have some rational balance to our arguments. And that's what I try to say. I'm trying to say not only on this show, but my assertion in the article, my points on X is come at me with something more than now you're wrong. Give me real measurable factoidal something that says, no, May is better or Caleb's better or whoever. Can't do it.
That is such a good point about McDaniels because we all hate him around here and he's a really awful head coach, but he's one of those guys that's a much better coordinator. Like you said, he's arguably, like it or not, a top 3 OC in the NFL. So you take that argument off the table as well for Drake May. And for Bo Nix, you know what they can't say? Oh, he had a dominant running game. Maybe for like half a season he did, or he has all these weapons around him like Caleb Williams does. No, he doesn't. He has maybe one low-end wide receiver one. So like to your point, Chad, and it was an excellent article, and it's all true. Bo Nix is the best quarterback in that class.
Hey, let's talk about the fact that Bo Nix was on a team that was strapped down with $85 million in dead cap.
True.
That all these other quarterbacks teams, they had that money to spend. And you could see it on the field, by the way, in the weapons that they're surrounded with. You look at Bo Nix, we know what he did last year in terms of the AFC West crown, sweeping the Chiefs, clinching the 1 seed, getting that playoff win, outdueling Josh Allen along the way. But you look at this, here's a couple more things. Okay, Nix led Broncos on an 11-game winning streak. Hey, Drake May had a 10-game. He was close, but nevertheless, outdueled Allen. Supposed to be Allen's year. Bo Nix said, nah. Accomplishment-wise, he's won the most games, Zach. He's passed for the most yards and touchdowns. We can talk about the fact that Bo Nix is the only quarterback in NFL history to win 20 games, pass for 7,500 yards and 50-plus touchdowns ever. No one's ever done it. By the way, he passed for 25-plus touchdowns in each of his first 2 seasons and 3,500-plus yards in both those seasons. Guess what? Only 2 other quarterbacks have ever done that. Peyton Manning, Justin Herbert. I could go on. There's actually multiple more points that sustain this, but we don't necessarily need to make this whole show about that. But I felt like it was worth bringing up.
Wow, you need to clip that because for anyone who ever brings up Bo Nix's lack of success or doubts it or criticizes it, just play that clip on repeat over and over. I have nothing left to say to that, Chad. 10 out of 10, no notes. Well said, my friend.
Hey, Glenn, down under. I'll click on it and give you the flash, big dog, but I'm going to read you off screen here. Great to see you. He says, good morning, Chad, Zach, and Deacon Scott. Scott will hear it eventually. He's not with us tonight, though. But he says, sending fast healing vibes to you and the family, Chad. It's just a cold. My daughter has a cold. It's all good. Thanks, though, buddy. Off-season must, he says, Zach. 1, running back, sign Algier or Hall. Re-sign Dobbins. Draft Jam Miller, day 3. 2, wide receiver 1, Justin Jefferson or a Waddle type, Jalen Waddle. 3, tight end, David Njoku or Kyle Pitts. Then draft 2 system fits, rounds 2 through 5. It's a great class, he says. 4, linebacker, draft 2 system fit linebackers to accompany Greenlaw. And 5, add to O-line with a center and a guard type. McGlinchey replacement. It's a good class. Cut Ben Powers. Palcho was so much better. I'm not sure I'm 100% with you on that last point about moving on from Ben Powers, but we'll see, Zach. We're quickly approaching. We're less than a month out from when teams start making those kind of decisions. I don't expect to see it, but till the window passes and that first couple of days of the new league year passes by, we have to be on alert for the possibility anyway.
Yeah, Glenn, we appreciate the comment. I feel like we answered this, like the first part of it, almost word for word the other day, but I do want to touch on something that you brought up because I talked about it last night with Ben Powers. Everyone is discussing wide receiver and tight end and running back on the Broncos offense as to the goals and the priorities, and rightly so. Those come first, but no one, Chad, is talking about what they're going to do at left guard. Are they going to restructure Ben Powers? I'm with you. I wouldn't move on necessarily, but I'm at least making him take a pay cut, clearing some cap room, going out and signing somebody else. Because Glenn, you're 100% bang on. It's what I noticed as well. And in the moment during the season, when Palcho was in there, Chad, they were much better. They got worse as an offensive line, as a whole, as a collective, when Powers came back in the lineup. It was crazy.
We'll see how it shakes out. Tucson Phil is in the house on Facebook. Great to have you with us tonight, Phil. Saying good evening, Chad and Zach. Got to say, so far, I really like our coaching hires. Now, top free agent pick and the draft. Yeah, I mean, things are going to start moving here, guys. It's kind of been a slow 3 weeks. What's it been? 3.5 since the Broncos were officially out of the playoffs or season officially over. But next week we have the combine. And from there, Zach, it's going to really pick up in terms of draft stock is going to rise. It's going to drop for some prospects. And then you get to the pro days and the draft will be here before you know it. So we'll see. It was kind of interesting this week. Of course, I think it was, a week and a half ago, Daniel Jeremiah of NFL Network, he dropped his top 50 prospects, which is one of the reads I look forward to each and every offseason. And then today he held his combine Zach press conference with national credentialed press, and he had a couple of interesting Bronco nuggets in there. One of them was on the running back front. He not linked by way of the Broncos are interested, but as a fit, not Jeremiah Love of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, but Jadarian Price as a guy who could not only fit the Broncos, be a great compliment to RJ Harvey, but a 3-down back could be there at pick 30, Zach.
Yeah, I'm with you. I look forward to his pre-combine insights and his pre-draft press conference as well. But what also happens at the combine, because what succeeds the combine almost immediately is free agency. And what happens there with all the NFL GMs and head coaches and personnel, they all descend on Indianapolis. That's when the deals get done for the open market, for trades, and obviously for the draft. That's when we'll hear some rumors. That's when we'll start to hear some whispers and we'll get some glimpses as to which way the Broncos are leaning. Are they going to go make a big trade for a receiver? Because if they do, this is my point, that's going to impact what they do in round one. So it's tough to speculate pre-combine where the Broncos are going to go in the draft because free agency is going to set the table for that exactly.
Well said. Well said. And I'll be out at the combine. This time, though, I think I'm only going to stay for the first couple days through the GM and coach pressers, and then I might come home. I'm not 100% sure on that yet, but that's the plan for now. Keith saying, Ronk's been around a while, bro. Yes, he has. If memory serves, Zach, I'm pretty sure he dates back to the 24/7 Facebook page, if I'm not mistaken.
He might. I can't remember doing a podcast where Ronk wasn't around or giving us props on social media. And look at this, gifting 20 MHH memberships after dropping $100 super. Thank you so much, Ronk. You are the man. Thank you so much.
The mayor of the MHH community.
That's right.
Hat tip to you, my brother. Thank you so
Ronk.
much.
Thank you.
We've also got Taylor Christensen checking in. Great to have another one of our Mount Rushmore superstars and dear members in the house saying, what's your opinion on San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Brandon Ayuk? And then he says, Broncos for life and bring Justin Sternad back. So first things first, Zach, Brandon Ayuk, the Niners are moving on, right? The injury case, he was part of their plague in the injury realm right after they paid him, nevertheless. What are your thoughts here for Taylor?
We talked about last night, I gave my receivers the Broncos should ignore in free agency. And I said, if this was 3, 4, 5 years ago, sure. I feel the same about Brandon Ayuk. There was a time where he was a top 10 receiver in the NFL and his arrow was skyrocketing upward, but he had a couple injuries, one of which was fairly significant, and he didn't come back from that. There's a reason why the Niners are going to move on. There's some baggage too, character concerns, big contract. I don't want to do any of that. I just want someone that's been proven, that's been reliable in the last couple seasons, consistent, and has a higher ceiling. Because as good as Ayuk was, he was never, to me, like a Garrett Wilson, like a Jalen Waddle, like a JJ, like these other receivers I want the Broncos to go after. So in no scenario would I want them to chase Brandon Ayuk, Taylor.
And when it comes to Justin Sternad, we can't rule him out. We can't. By the way, it's not Sternad, it's Sternad. That's how he wants his name to be said. We can't rule it out. I still will be surprised if it is Sternad over Singleton just because of the team captain thing. I think they end up running it back with Singleton for a 2-year deal, front load the first year, live to see how he does this time next year. Do we keep him for that second year? But then again, you got to think about his age, and Sternad is right in the middle of his prime, and he's really kind of figured it out. So these are tough things to consider, and you don't want to have to replace 2 of your 3 top linebackers. One of them's coming back, in my opinion. We have the Duchess.
Whoa. Thank you, Michaela. Thank
Kayla
you.
Parker checking
Thank you,
in
Michaela.
off the top rope. Love you so much. And yes, Michaela, we are your football priests. 4 times a week, we're here live to offer you the absolution and answers to your burning Broncos questions, even when your boy is on the road. Love you. She says, hi, priest. Thank you for the Broncos sermon. Bo, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in his class. He will end up having the best career out of all of them. Preach. The heck with the haters. Zach, I mean, it's here's just a couple more, just for craps and gigs, okay? He's one of just 5 quarterbacks to post at least 25 passing touchdowns and to rank in the top 10 in both the 2024 and 2025 seasons. Let me tell you, none of the other 24 quarterbacks are in that 5. He's also only been sacked 46 total times through his first 2 seasons, which is the second fewest among all NFL quarterbacks. The only guy who's been sacked fewer times is Jordan Love of the Green Bay Packers. So it's obviously also, Zach, the fewest among quarterbacks drafted in 2024. And here's the last thing. Nix was the 6th and final quarterback selected in the first round of that draft, but he leads all the signal callers in his class in total wins, passing touchdowns, total touchdowns, including high-profile top 3 picks like Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. Now, real quick, just to illustrate, when I say he's got the most this, he's got the most that. Bo Nix, okay? Try and remember these numbers. If I was at home in the office, I'd put it on screen, but I don't want to mess with our connection here. His record as a starting quarterback in the league. You ready? 24-10. All right? Let's see who else we got here. Drake May's record, 17-12. Not bad, but that's not 24-10, Zach. How about Caleb Williams, who's been also a 17-game starter both of his first 2 years, like Bo? 16-18. All right, cool. What about Jaden Daniels, who could not stay on the field last season? 14-10. And then we don't even really need to get into Penix, Zach, or JJ McCarthy. So I rest my case. Look, it's easy for us to say it, granted, right? Broncos, orange-colored glasses and all that. But I'm telling you, go read the article and try to, from a critical eye, blow up my argument and find a reason why it should be May or Daniels or Williams or Penix or McCarthy, whatever. You can't, other than just saying, no. Maybe one argument, Zach, maybe, and this is just me pulling out of thin air. Bo Nix doesn't have any Pro Bowls. Bo Nix hasn't been to the selected to the All-Pro team, etc. Multiple other guys in that 24 class have.
Man, it's crazy. It's the fact that, remember he was so old for a rookie, Chad, and entering the NFL, that was held against him as well. But, the sack numbers are nice. The passing yards are nice. The stats that you laid out are nice, Chad, absolutely. But the best thing that he does is he wins, and he wins in the fourth quarter. And you can present a counter argument like Caleb Williams also did. He had, I think, the second most number of comebacks or fourth quarter wins. But did Caleb Williams win in the divisional round? Did he take his team to the title game? No, he did not. Bo Nix did. And if Bo Nix would have stayed healthy, and I know it's if, people want to say Captain If and all these memes with Bo Nix, but no doubt about it. I mean, literally, you ask any semi-literate football fan, if Bo Nix stays healthy, the Broncos go to the Super Bowl. And except for Drake May, and we can chop that argument up as well, no other quarterback has done that. So it's really, is he the second best, which I don't believe, you don't believe, or is he number 1? It's people ranking him 3 or 4. They're not even worth listening to, Michaela. So you're right. The heck with the haters. And thank you so much.
And by the way, Drake May, I don't know if you guys know this, but he actually has 2 Pro Bowl nods. He was not selected to the Pro Bowl his rookie year. He was named a second alternate, and multiple quarterbacks bowed out. And just like Bo was offered alternate in front of May, by the way, Bo said, no, I'm going to focus on, what was it? I think it was an ankle, wasn't it? That he got work on this time last year. My point being, if Bo was all about the accolades and he wanted to, stuff that resume as best he could, he would have said, I'll kick the can down the road a couple of weeks on my surgery and I'll go do the Pro Bowl so I can get that on my resi. He didn't. So he could very easily, Zach, and this year too, by the way, actually, I don't remember how many bowed out of this year. So I'll take that second thing I said back. But Bo Nix could have at least the one Pro Bowl under his belt. What was more important to him? Getting healthy so he could be back on the field in time for the offseason training program to be there for his team. And look where it led the Broncos. That kind of mindset and focus and commitment almost to the top of the mountain. And if he doesn't end up having that bad luck, maybe they do get to the top.
Man, look at the post-game interview he gave with Tracy Wolfson. We talked about it extensively, but you wouldn't know, and we didn't know. That's what made it so heartbreaking, was the fact that he had an ankle fracture. But the last thing he said to her to end the interview was, "Go Broncos," with a big smile on his face. The guy is football first, Broncos first. He's just a winner. And that's what I love most about him. I don't care about stats. I care about W's. And no one does that better, literally, than Bo Nix.
Well said. Michaela jumping in with a second generous top rope super chat. Love you, my friend. She says, I don't remember how many years I've been in this community, 7, 8 years, though I know of my life, it wouldn't be the same without you guys. Love. Same here. Honestly, I mean, thank God we found each other. And that's part of what this community is about, is bringing like-minded folks, not just, oh, we all care about the Broncos, but like, we end up kind of seeing the world a lot through the same lens. And like, I had dinner at the meet and greet. I went, and met up with Michaela and Deanna and their husbands for a Friday night dinner in Denver, and got to know you and Deanna and your husbands that much better. And that was fun. And that's what this whole thing is about. But I would say, Zach, to her point, I remember Michaela Parker jumping into the chat. This whole thing caught fire and became kind of a cultural phenomenon in Denver in the fall of 2019. And it wasn't right away, I remember Michaela. I remember her about the second half of that first season we were doing the live stream, Zach. So that's still been here since basically day one, year one of us doing the live streams. And that was 2019. So just do the math, Zach.
Yeah, Michaela, thank you so much. And just like with Ronk, I can't imagine getting on here 4 nights a week or any night of the week and not seeing you. And not because of any sort of figure in, number wise, just because we see your name and your insights and what you bring to the table as a Broncos fan. And what I can remember about you is you went through it as a Broncos fan in that decade of misery. You were really out a couple years ago before Bo Nix. I don't blame you after Russell Wilson, but we said, just hang in there, Michaela. It's going to be okay. Sean Payton will get this right. And what do you know? We went to the AFC title game, and it's so good to see you saying, the heck with the haters. We got this. So we love you so much. It's so good to meet you in person, hang out, the meet and greet. Thank you so much for your generosity. It really, it's genuinely humbling. Thank you.
We love you. We love you, my friend. We got the spouse in the house, Unique Prepping, who's, we're reminiscing a little bit here. First of all, it's his 4-month anniversary of being a member, but he's been a member of the community. I mean, we just launched membership, Zach, what was it, July? But he's been a core member of the MHH Superstar community since, as he points out here, he says, first community I joined on YouTube in 2020 was MHH. And he was part of that first little clique that kind of came out of the MHH fan community, which was the MHH UN. And that was really cool going way back, dude. So proud of you and everything you've accomplished, Zachary, with your podcast. And you're an inspiration, buddy. Very proud of you. I hope you know that. Oh, my goodness gracious, Zach. We got the Ronk
bomb.
Top rope, grab me a ladder, higher than the top rope, and then he's coming down. Bam, ba, boom. And Ronk, if I'm not mistaken, can appreciate what I'm saying. He's a wrestling fan too, if memory serves. But, brother, love you, dude. Seriously. Hats off. You're getting the bald dome, brother. I'm gonna blind you with the glare. All right. Thank you, bro. That's 2 super generous super chats just tonight. And you've been going off lately, especially, but always, Ronk, you're supportive. And here's what's great. I know there's some people that are listening right now, whether it's live with this or they'll be listening to this after the fact. They'll be going, just get to the Broncos talk. Quit just talking to all the fans in the chat and all your friends and blah, blah, blah. Sorry, that's part of what this thing we do at MHH is about, is the community. We're always going to get Zach back on point, talk about the Broncos and the NFL and the draft. We're going to do that. But Ronk, dude, you deserve the props. And I hope you know how much you mean to us, big dog. And thank you very much. Thank you, big dog.
Yeah, trust me when I say, Ronk, that Chad's bald dome is preferable to whatever I have going on underneath this hat right now. I'm getting that fixed. That'll be taken care of by Sunday's pod. But regardless, seriously, thank you so much for your generosity. Just going hard in the paint tonight, showing us endless amounts of love. I mean, there's nothing more. I mean, I could say thank you, thank you, thank you so much over and over, but I want you to know it's coming from here. And we couldn't do this without you. We do this because of your generosity, because of you guys. And it really does keep us going and push us forward in times like these. Thank you, man.
Love you, big dog. Thank you, thank you. All right, where are we at time wise? We're already 35 minutes in, Zach. That's fast.
Because of y'all, because of them, because of our community. It's you guys make this so fun each and every night. Doesn't feel like work. We get on here and an hour goes by in a second because of you. Thank you all.
You know, there's times like tonight where on one hand you could be like, oh, like the way my family might perceive it is it feels like work because we got to stop whatever we're going to do, change what time we're going to go to dinner because dad's got to do the podcast. They don't think that way.
Yeah.
But I don't think that way. I'll tell you that. And then as soon as I sit down, I'm having a blast. None of this feels like work. Are we working? Technically, yes. Does it feel like work? It never has. And that's why I got into this, guys. I didn't get into this to ever, I didn't even believe I could ever make a dollar doing what I do as a publisher, as a writer, podcasting. I just got into doing this and writing it and doing my thoughts and stuff, getting it out there because I was such a freak about the Broncos and football. And one thing led to another. And it's a good example of where doing things for the passion of it, just because you love doing it, where it can take you. So end of sermon there on that particular point. But thank you, Ronk. Love you, bro. Patrick, good to see you, big dog. Aloha. Right back at you. Let's see what M. Blacks has to say here. Says lots of restructures incoming. Broncos are going to have a ton of free cap space to work with. So, Zach, as it stands, Broncos have just shy of 30 million bucks. All right. It's like 28 and change, depending on what site you're going to get your information from. I rely mostly on over the cap. So that's where I draw from. When it comes to restructures, there are some really good candidates. And what you look for in a restructure candidate is a veteran with a high figure cap hit or contract who has multiple years, not only Zach, left on the deal, but a guy who you're relatively certain as a franchise you envision being around for a good chunk of those remaining years. So guys that come to mind, for example, for restructures would be Mike McGlinchey, right tackle. Even guys who were signed on, like Talanoa Hufanga last year, approach him about doing a little restructure. And all you're doing is converting salary into signing bonus, and then that way it takes it off the books, kicks that figure, whatever the bonus number was, down the road. You can apply it to future cap years. And so there are some candidates for it, Zach. I mean, even Jonathan Cooper's a candidate. I do anticipate the Broncos expect him to be around for a while. Nick Benito's a candidate. Heck, Pat Surtain's a candidate. So it wouldn't shock me if he's right here, Zach, that there will be a few restructures coming. Lots, I don't know, one or two key ones maybe to get the Broncos a little bit closer to the 40 million range in terms of cap space, maybe something like that.
Ben Powers, we talked about earlier, being another one. I don't know if it's going to be a restructure or just a straight up pay cut for him, but they can clear some money from him, and they should as well. And yeah, like when it's all said and done, like you were saying, Chad, they can probably have about 40 million to work with. And at that point, you can sign a receiver, you can sign a running back, you can re-sign players if you want. They have that flexibility now. They can sign Breece Hall and a receiver if they wanted to and still be well under the cap. But obviously having more is better. And I think, like you said, they're going to find a way to get some more this offseason.
Yeah, amen, Ronk. Bo Nix would have gotten the Broncos to Super Bowl 60 without the ankle. It's 100%.
No question. No
question. Adventure Soldier, good to see you, big dog. I'm just taking a few looks here at the chat. I disagree with our friend Big E Bronco, who says pick 30 is way too high for Jadarian Price. Not to be confused with Jeremiah Love. The Notre Dame has two great backs in this class, and they shared the backfield. Jeremiah Love is obviously the one, Zach, who, you know, he's, for lack of a better term, he's the Ashton Genty of this class, although I think he's better than Genty. But Jadarian, one of the things, as Jeremiah pointed out, 3-down back, the one fly in the ointment is he does have some fumbling issues, so you got to get a handle on that at the NFL level. But the thing about him is he started out like late second round as a guy, like somewhere in the second round, let's just say. He's creeping up according to Jeremiah. Like he's gonna be in the first round. And what NFL teams are gonna really be like the cherry on top when it comes to Jadarian Price is the low mileage on his tires as a running back. He was playing second fiddle to Jeremiah Love for 3 years. Teams are gonna love that.
Yeah, and Biggie, like Chad's right with that analysis on the player, but also about the need at the position. It's so early. What you're saying about him right now might not pertain to him in a month from now when he starts testing and after his pro day leading up to the draft. The opinions on some of these prospects, on most of these prospects, are going to change. So it's just let's try to pump the brakes on being so declarative on these statements.
By the way, Mblex, every time I say Justin's last name, the 14-year-old in me also has that very same thought. I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. But guys, we're about out of time. We got to keep it a little bit tight tonight because of the circumstances. So any burning topics or questions, get it in the chat here. We will be sure to get to you before we dip on out. Yeah, and this is true. Thank you for the reminders for everyone there, Ronk. Mblex saying Bo would have been in the Pro Bowl if he wanted to last year, but he turned it down. Yeah, he would have gotten the Pro Bowl on his resi, not Drake May. Were it not for Bo Nix saying, yeah, thanks, but no thanks, Drake May would not have actually gotten the Pro Bowl on his resume. So thank Bo Nix for that, big dog. I'm just kind of cruising through here, seeing if we missed any interesting. Oh, here's one from Phil. This is good. Guys, in my world, at pick 30, I have Kenyon Sadiq, the tight end from Oregon, CJ Allen, the linebacker from Georgia, and Caleb Banks, the big defensive tackle available. Who would you take? Of those three, that's a tough one. It would not be Banks. It would either be Sadiq or Allen. And Zach, without really giving it time to analyze and kind of pros and cons off the cuff, I would probably take Sadiq. But CJ Allen, the only real concern is his length. Otherwise, he is everything you want in a linebacker. Like he is a badass human, Zach.
Phil, I don't mean to be a wet blanket, but are the Broncos going to be filling these in this scenario? Are they going to be filling these moves in free agency, or are they going to leave it untouched until the draft? I'm going to just assume that these are the biggest needs, tight end and linebacker, because I agree with Chad. We'll take Banks out of the equation here. I think it's down to Sadiq and Allen, and I don't even think it's a choice in this scenario. I think you're right, Chad. I would take Sadiq as well. Just a more important player at a position of need. And I'm not delivering a first-round linebacker to Vance Joseph. I would rather deliver a first-round tight end to Sean Payton. I feel better about that. So no question, Sadiq. I'm even moving up for him. If he falls to like 23, 24, 25 maybe, I think he'd be a perfect fit in this offense.
By the way, never say never, but the Broncos have not drafted a linebacker in the first round since DJ Williams. Was that 04? I think it was 04. Might have been 03, but I'm pretty sure it was 04. It's just one of those things. I don't know why. I mean, they haven't even drafted a offensive tackle since Garrett Bowles almost a decade ago. So anyway, those are three very interesting prospects, though, Phil. And Caleb Banks, I watched him for 3 days at the Senior Bowl. That dude gets after it. He's going to be a stud at the NFL level. But first round, if you're going, who's the best player available of those three? If let's say those three on your big board are the next three best players, and you got to whittle that down to who's the best. It, for me, is a genuine toss-up between Sadiq and Allen, but I'm only erring on Sadiq because of the general need at the position. He's a guy, Zach, who could develop some blocking chops and become a bona fide, not so much dual threat, but complete tight end. And if you're just joining us, like Todd, the new coaching hire at wide receiver coach is going to be Ronald Curry, the former Raiders wide receiver. Most people who are around from back then can remember him, but he spent the last couple of years in Buffalo with Josh Allen and company. So it appears, Zach, he's on his way to the Mile High City.
Yeah, and like we speculated earlier, anyone who missed it can go back and watch the pod after it's over, but he might also, maybe, this is our speculation, he might also get the title of passing game coordinator because he previously held that title for Sean Payton in New Orleans. But good hire for the Broncos. Yes, Ronald Curry is the new wide receivers coach, replacing Kerry Colbert.
William, I appreciate this comment. He says, what I like about this podcast and people here is 95% of the time it's very civil. Unless someone comes in here and it's super outlandish and they act like a jerk, everyone's thoughts get taken into account. Yes, and that's there's a reason for that. A big part of that is the hosts, and do the hosts not only curate the chat in terms of getting rid of people who are just there to troll and fight or spammers and stuff like that, but do they genuinely encourage the conversation and the community? And I hope you guys feel it, because when we go live, I genuinely feel bonds with each and every one of you. Like if I come to know your name, there's a bond there, and even you, William, absolutely. And the way the bond for me connects is guitars, dude, with William. That's where it starts. Not so much Broncos. It starts with the guitars, big dog. So anyway, congrats on your new Fender. But guys, we're about out of time here. Zach, why don't we do this? You get to our final matters of business, and I'll take one last look at the chat.
Another tremendous installment, as always, of the Mile High Huddle podcast. If you're not doing so, please follow us on X at the MHH Pod. You can follow the main account on X at Mile High Huddle, Chad at Chad and Jensen, myself at Kelberman NFL, and Scott, our producer, at Scout Kennedy. If you guys want some merch like we're rocking each and every single podcast, check out mhhmerch.com and get you some. If you haven't done so yet, please drop us a like at facebook.com/Mile High Huddle Pod. You can find us on Instagram at mile_high_huddle. If you haven't done so yet, please join our new MHH Discord server. The link is in the description below. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, make sure you're leaving your football priest a 5-star review for a chance to win some merch each and every single month. But if anything, y'all, please, 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 very important, as always, that you subscribe, you like, you share this video and every video you see on the MHH channel. It really helps us grow and reach more Broncos fans just like you.
Golly, at the 11th hour, here's the Ronk gifting 20 more MHH memberships to folks in the chat. So, dude, love you, buddy. Love you. We're going to do the shout-outs here in just a moment. First, though, a couple last things before we dip. Let me scroll down to the ones I starred here. Sorry, we're a little clunkier tonight because it also coincides with Scott not being able to make it. But Phil says, let's rapid fire these, Zach. If Josh Jacobs is a salary cap casualty, what does it cost to get him?
Probably a 2-year deal where a majority is guaranteed. I think he still has a couple years left in the tank. He's not my first choice if he becomes available, but he's better than some of the other players on the open market. And don't forget, also, Chad, really quickly, Sean Payton is a huge fan of Josh Jacobs. He was talking about him before he took the Broncos job as to how big a fan he is. So if he does, Phil, shake loose from Green Bay, that could be a player the Broncos explore on a multi-year deal.
I would say something like 2 years, $30 million, somewhere in between like 13 and 15 per year for a running back. So do you want to pay him? I mean, as Zach mentioned, we know Sean Payton really wanted Jacobs at one point, but that's been a couple years in the rear view. So I'm not sure how they would feel about that today. Todd, are we moving on from Dre Greenlaw? This is an interesting question. I don't think so, Zach. I think, honestly, this is the truth. If Greenlaw had been signed spring of 2024, not spring of 2025, and both Singleton and Sternad were coming back, they were under contract for 26, I think it would be a much stronger possibility considering how much time he missed. But the fact that your other two top 3 linebackers, Zach, are both free agents, I think Dre survives it. I think they run it back one more time with them and see if maybe it was just one last streak of bad luck, if they can keep him on the field this time. Because they do love what he brings to the table, not only on the field as a linebacker, Zach, but the culture and the mentality, mindset, all that stuff. They love that about him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they are leaning toward bringing him back, but they also have to ask themselves, Chad, is the juice worth the squeeze with Dre Greenlaw? Between the injuries, the suspension, the general ineffectiveness beyond just a couple games, he does bring a lot that a Broncos linebacker hasn't brought to the table in quite some time, but he can't help out the team when he's not on the field. I think this question will be answered in the weeks ahead by the progress or lack thereof the Broncos make with Sternad and Singleton. If they can bring them both back on reasonable deals, they might move on from Greenlaw. If they bring one back, I do think Greenlaw obviously stays as a starter.
All right, guys, mile high salute and a special shout out to all the great Super Chat Superstar supporters and dear members helping us keep the lights on tonight. Like Papa Bear, Ronk going off.
Thank you, Ronk.
Ralph Brayskirtle. I didn't flash Papa Bear. So Papa Bear, Taylor Christensen, brother, thank you. It's a little bit clunkier tonight, guys, and with my laptop, sorry. Michaela, multiple top rope super chats, love you. Phil, multiple comments on Facebook, celebrating once again. Smouse in the house for 4 straight months as a member. Ronk as well, also, by the way, gifting 40 MHH memberships in the chat. And 2 massive supers. So love you, buddy. Thank you so much. And all the members, you know who you are. We love you. We appreciate you. And we seriously would not be able to do what we do were it not for our superstars, our supporters, and our members. So love you guys. And Zach and I are back on Sunday night. So we'll see you then. And in the meantime, you'll get some Dove Valley Deep Divers. Well, first of all, you get some Broncos for breakfast tomorrow morning. And then Dove Valley Deep Divers tomorrow night. And Zach and I will see you on Sunday.
Have a great rest of your Thursday. Have a great start to your weekend. We will see you Sunday night. Same time, same place. Take care. And as always, go Broncos.